Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minute, despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain and things like that this year. I just wanted to tell you guys.
I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour.
The LAPD uncovered new evidence about Celeste's final moments, and it directly involved David. News reports stated that David is allegedly not cooperating with investigators looking into Celeste's death, and that detectives have identified a second suspect. David is still considered a suspect himself, which turned the situation into a huge story once TMZ leaked it. Celeste was found frozen in David's car, and according to the LA County Medical Examiner, the condition of her body will likely make it very difficult to determine her exact cause of death. Despite that, LAPD still believes foul play was involved. They can still make an arrest even if the official cause remains undetermined. Creators on social media started posting short videos saying things like,
for quite some time, a lot of people were curious as to when she could have passed away. If she passed away at the beginning of 2025, why did she only just start smelling in September of 2025? Well, according to what we are hearing from sources close to LAPD, it seems as if Celeste Rivas Hernandez was actually frozen for a period of time. Freezing a body would preserve that for an extended period of time, and it seems as if she was removed from being in a frozen state and put in David's Tesla. And because of that, the medical examiner is likely not going to be able to determine a CO.
TMZ's theory spread so fast online that police were eventually forced to address it, confirming the viral claim was false. To shut the rumors down, they released a portion of the actual police report, which outlined what investigators really knew. According to that report, on the night of December 30th into the early morning of December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in downtown Los Angeles. Several public photos were taken of them during that time. Detectives also recovered unusual photos from David's camera roll, which led them to look into whether a certain shed might have been connected to the incident. The report also referenced a second potential person of interest. Investigators reviewing David's financial records found he had been paying rent on a private home he had never publicly mentioned, where a man named Neo had been living. One online post claimed, "This doesn't prove any guilt, but based on recent findings and David's social media activity, it's possible that his friend Neo was the last person driving the Tesla." Neo has also removed David from his social media. This post has not been confirmed by the LAPD, but it lines up with an earlier statement from the private investigator, who had hinted that someone besides David might have been involved. As of now, many people believe that Neo may have been the person he was referring to, though none of this has been officially verified by authorities.
You know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
So I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I don't mean I can't say I don't know who exactly was in that house because it's just a report, but there's video, but you can't make a person out. But somebody was in the house, and being that there's only one key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her? I don't know.
With the story going viral, Neo started acting suspicious on his social media. Screenshots showed that David and Neo don't follow each other anymore. People are now asking what happened to Celeste and who put her in the Tesla. Some think Celeste might have seen something about David, and they were worried it could hurt his public image. Rumors also started spreading that David might have been in a relationship with Neo. Nothing is confirmed, but when you look at their Instagram posts, it does raise questions. They recreated the Titanic pose together, lay in bed together, and were almost always seen hanging out. This made people wonder if David left Celeste for Neo and if they tried to erase any evidence of David being with Celeste. Another strange part of the case is that no one knows where David is. He has been hiding for 2 months, and there is no information about his location. Even the private investigator, who has been providing most of the details in the case, has no idea where David went.
Have any indication about where David is right now?
I don't. I have no idea. And it's kind of bizarre because his group has stayed so silent. What's left of his group, I guess. And I'm not even sure the conversations that the owner did have with his management in breaking that lease. I'm not even 100% sure his management knows at this time where he's at. I think his attorney might be the only one, and his parents.
However, going back to the day Celeste was found in the car, David did something that looked very suspicious. Reports say that after he hired his lawyers, he started moving his assets out of his own name. as if he was preparing for the police to come after him. Many people believe his arrest could happen soon. In case you didn't know, David transferred 2 houses he owned into his mother's name. A lawyer explained that doing this could help David protect his property if he gets charged or investigated.
You know, transferring these assets in the middle of an investigation, as opposed to 2 years ago or a year ago.
Right.
Could a court look at this and say, this was a deliberate attempt to, what you say, concealing assets, and they could breach it, they could pierce it, they could say, even though that you've transferred this into your mother's name, that was invalid. This is a way for, let's say, a plaintiff who sues him, or let's say in a criminal judgment to pay that fine. Can a court look at that and say, even though you transferred it, it's still open season on those properties?
Yeah, this is what's so puzzling about this. It is a very basic premise of law throughout the country that you can't transfer assets after the event happens that would otherwise trigger collecting on those assets. So we have rules in different states. Sometimes they're called fraudulent transfers. Sometimes they're called fraudulent conveyances. There's a lot of different names for them. But the crux of it is you cannot transfer assets.
Even though David tried to cover his tracks, the feds can still investigate the house transfers and possibly undo them, which means his plan may not help him at all. It's also worth mentioning that David has been spotted online twice, either by accident or because he thought no one would notice. First, David appeared to post a new song called Rush on his official BandLab account, then deleted it almost immediately. Maybe he didn't think it was a big deal, but people quickly commented asking if he committed the crime, which likely made him take it down. The second sighting was even stranger. Fans have been watching all of David's social media and online activity, and they discovered that he has been playing. They tracked his Fortnite account and saw him logging in and playing while supposedly hiding. It's wild that David still hasn't made any public statement, and many fans who once believed he was innocent have now lost hope. One fan wrote, "There's no way that's David's first response to all of this. If he knew he was innocent, he would have handled things differently." Meanwhile, more information from the private investigator's interview has been released. They asked him if he had any clear details about when Celeste passed away.
You don't know more information about when she, right?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any information of how she, when exactly she. Listen, investigations are always moving, and right now I tend to believe it happened a while ago, a long time ago. And I think January, February, things change. I mean, you can see it in the photos and everything. And I also think when I first started looking at this case, I'm very much an Occam's razor type of person where I think things are a lot easier than people try to make them sometimes, especially online, into these big things. And I thought this was going to be a tragic, which it very well still could be. And they made a bad decision because they didn't want to expose a potential relationship and put her in this Tesla. And then maybe he thought he could get somebody to get rid of that car. And they were just like, no, I'm not doing it. And just got left there. But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence that was at that house that there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her.
But there was one more important piece of evidence the private investigator found. He learned that David had a second home, so he tried to figure out when David was last there. The exact date is still unknown, but in February, David recorded a strange video at that house. Someone who looked into it said, "There's this video David filmed at his other place." By that time, Celeste had probably already been missing for a few weeks. Around that same time in February, David also leased a new red Tesla and stopped using the black one.
Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minute, but I just had some words to share with you for 2025. Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain and things like that, this year I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And then it seems like just at the start of the year, it's literally January and all this stuff is happening. It's like the most insane, it's February now, but it's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind, 2025. Stay prayed up.
The investigator noticed the background in that video and recognized it as David's second house. It's believed that Celeste had been living in David's private rental home. Since David posted that strange video in February, investigators now think she may have passed away a few weeks before that. It's also important to note that there were no confirmed sightings of Celeste at any point in 2025. Earlier in the case, police visited David's parents' house in Texas. A post explained, on September 18th, David transferred his Texas homes into his mother's name. Just one day before that, police executed a search warrant at his Hollywood Hills rental. On that same day, someone made a false emergency call claiming an incident had occurred at his parents' house. When officers arrived, David's parents explained that his younger brother and sister were upstairs, and the report was fake. It appears someone tried to trick police into revealing whether David was staying at his family's home.
No, out of all times for this to happen, as he's discovered in his car, after she's been identified, for there to be a potential swatting incident where somebody calls 911 with a fake allegation, a fake crime for their property, out of all people, out of all times, it's weird.
Well, it's weird, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me because this case has taken on national significance in terms of people paying attention to it. And there are bad actors that understand how to bring somebody by way of swatting. So somebody called the 911 system down there. They found the address online and were basically made up a story for the cops to go there. And then they went in, and fortunately the police were very professional and they were able to immediately understand that it was a swatting incident and it wasn't a legitimate call.
However, an old interview shows David saying some unsettling things, especially now that we know more about the case. In that interview, David talked about what he imagined the next 4 years of his life would look like. He said he wanted to live on a private island with no social media, which happens to be the same amount of time it would have taken for Celeste to turn 18.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying, why are you saying that like you're not like up there?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I'm going crazy year after year for the next 3 years. And then on the 4th year, I retire. And on the 5th year, I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib. No social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone. I'm just gone. In 5 years, I'm gonna be gone.
Will you still remember me?
Yeah, bro. You'll have like the secret codes to the mansion.
Yeah?
You can pull up on every
What's the secret code? Give us the first 2 numbers.
Absolutely
of the secret.
not.
The question in the interview asked about his plans for the next 5 years. So fans found it strange that he chose to answer with a 4-year timeline instead. But the second interview was even more concerning. Before getting into that, it's important to mention that David is very into anime. This connects to an earlier report showing both Celeste and David wearing what appears to be the exact same wig, likely inspired by his anime interests. In the interview, David talked about his love for anime and explained that he even based his music videos on an anime series he wanted to create himself. The main character in those videos is his alter ego, and that character commits serious crimes.